Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Delray Richardson. And what I'm about to do right now is drop a bombshell and explain to you why everything that you heard from Faith Evans in regards to Tupac on Hopelessly in Love and as well as in her book was made up to help sell her book. Ask yourself, why would Faith Evans want us to believe that in her book and as well as in the documentary Hopelessly in Love, that the studio session for Wonder Why They Call You Bitch and the lie about Tupac allegedly telling her that she had to suck his dick to get her money for the studio session all happened after the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party? If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then these pictures right here are worth lying for and $25,000. After I finish explaining this to you, you're going to understand why Faith Evans wanted us to believe that. And you're also going to understand that what Faith Evans alleged Tupac said to her in his hotel room is a lie. And the mythological $25,000 agreement is also a lie. And it was created to help garner publicity to sell her book. You see, the public might not have been aware, but Faith Evans knew that these pictures were her last pictures that she took with Tupac Shakur. So when she started writing her book, Faith Evans knew that if she was going to come up with some salacious lie about Tupac that involved her never seeing him again afterwards, Faith knew that there couldn't be any more public pictures of her and Tupac together. That's why the author, Aaliyah S. King, and Faith Evans said that the studio session with Tupac and the fabricated statement Tupac allegedly said to Faith Evans at the hotel happened just a couple of days after the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party on November 14th, 1995, which we now know is a lie. And we also know that it factually happened on October 19th, 1995, which was actually 26 days earlier, and the day that Tupac actually had sex with Faith Evans after they recorded You Wonder Why You Call You Bitch. The Chuck Phillips interview is the straw that broke the camel's back. Without that, Faith Evans' lies would have prevailed. You gotta understand, that interview, which recorded the studio session with Faith Evans and Tupac recording with each other, was Tupac's insurance policy. Remember the song on Machiavelli, To Live and Die in L.A.? And Tupac said, learn how to think ahead so I fight with my pen. But in this case, he used Chuck Phillips' tape recorder, nevertheless thinking ahead. So do you understand these pictures now? If you don't, then here's the bombshell. These pictures were taken at the premiere of the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party. You're probably asking yourself, so what does that mean? The incident that Faith Evans described on Hopelessly in Love about how Tupac was menacing and how she was scared and what Tupac allegedly said she had to do to get her money? You remember that, right? That happened on October 19th, 1995 at approximately 2 p.m. These pictures were taken 26 days later on November 14th, 1995. Facts. These are the pictures that prove Faith Evans' salacious story is a lie, and the $25,000 is a myth. That's why Faith Evans had to make it appear as if the studio session and her salacious lie happened after the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party. Ask yourself a question, because I know you're intelligent enough to figure this out. Does Tupac in this picture with his arm around Faith look like the type of guy that owes Faith $25,000? And does Faith Evans look like she's owed $25,000 as she's standing there letting Tupac put his arm around her after all of the menacing and scary stuff that Faith alleged that Tupac said to her just 26 days earlier in his hotel room, Faith Evans looks real comfortable. And now you understand why it was all a lie. To help sell her book and to gain publicity on Tupac's name. Hey, yo, Art of Dialogue. I got a few questions for Faith Evans because I know for a fact that she didn't ask Tupac in her book any of the times that she ran into him prior to the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party. So I'm going to ask her right now. So she can't come back and say, well, oh yeah, I did, because you didn't in your book. And I just want to clear this up because this is the catalyst of what my discussion was. Did Faith Evans ask Tupac for her $25,000 when Tupac sat at her table at the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party? Because she did let him sit at her table, so her book says. Or, I'm just curious, did she ask Tupac for her $25,000 when Tupac sat in her limousine prior to them walking the red carpet at the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party? Because, like I said, once again, these pictures right here, they look real comfortable, real cozy, like there's no animus between them at all. Or, let's say, well, did she ask for the $25,000 anytime during that night? And Tupac doesn't look menacing. He looks like he's happy and having a good time, and so does Faith. And I want to ask this last question. Was Tupac still demanding that Faith Evans suck his dick at the party to get her $25,000? Or was everything cool then? It was all a lie. All a lie. All made up. And these pictures prove it. Hey, yo, Art of Dialogue. Yo, most people want to know why I did this and I brung this sham to light and took the time out to do all of the research and tell the story and the personal times that I was with Tupac at the Hollywood Athletic Club and all of those things. And I'm going to tell you like this. See, the Tupac Shakur that Faith Evans wanted you to be introduced to was not Tupac Shakur. That was a made-up character for her book and to help her book to sell. You see, the Tupac Shakur I knew was the Tupac Shakur who wasn't afraid to tell us that his mother was addicted to crack. The Tupac Shakur that I knew wasn't afraid to let us know that the first time that he met his real father is when he was shot up in the hospital. You understand what I'm saying? And somebody who can be that honest with you, even when it's not in a favorable light for them, I respect that. See, that same Tupac Shakur, who when he was in Atlanta, riding in the limousine with Edie and the Outlaws, and he seen that young black brother over there in distress with two guys jumping him, two white guys jumping him and beating him up. That Tupac Shakur that told the limousine driver, man, pull the car over and get out and want to know, because he seen his brother in distress, somebody that he didn't know, what was going on. And that Tupac Shakur, who risked his freedom, his success, and his money to get out that car and got a gun drawn down on him. And the same guy that went back to the limousine and got his legal firearm came out, got on one knee, and defended himself as well as his brother. That's the Tupac that I know. That's the Tupac that's the reason why I did this. Yo, Art of Dialogue, I got one more question for your subscribers and the people that listen. Do you know that the day before the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack release party, that Tupac paged Faith Evans, and Faith Evans called him back, and she said, we had some small talk for a minute. So what are you working on out here? He asked me. And she said, I did a song for the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. I told him, I'm going to the release party for that. And he said, yeah, I'm going to that too. then she said that he asked her, "Are you still down to do a song with me?" Now, I don't know about you, and if all of the things that Faith Evans said happened to her at that hotel room that night, and him putting her out the hotel, not paying her money, saying that she had to give him a blowjob if she wanted to get paid. First and foremost, I don't think I'm returning no pages. And let me ask you this, Art. If you do decide to return the page, what's going to be the first question that you ask Tupac once you return that page? You're going to ask for your money, right?
Right.
And then the most egregious lie that she put in the book, because we know now factually beyond any shadow of a doubt that the song was already recorded on October 19th, 1995, is that Tupac supposedly asked her, "So you still down to do a song with me?" The date that conversation happened would be November 13th. The song's already done. She lied. It's all a lie. This is a great work of fiction. And not only that, but I'll take it a step further. Because like I said, the next day, the day of the party, Tupac called her on her cell phone again. And she picked up the phone. She ain't asked nothing about no $25,000 or none of that. Tupac was trying to figure out where she was. And she said, "I'm at the party." He said, "Yeah, I'm here too. Where you at?" So I want the world to know, and everybody who listened to this, call a friend, tell a friend that it was all a lie that Faith Evans made up for her book and to garner publicity and to use Tupac's name to try to sell her book. Rest in peace, Tupac. One love.